Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Free Bin, a Toledo, Oregon Public Library podcast. My name is Sophia.
I'm Harrison.
And I'm Cindy.
Woohoo! We're in for another great day. At first, we should start with announcements, I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. New news! We're having Cookbook Club on October 4th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., so make sure you bring a dish. We have a cookbook that you can pick a recipe from, and we're going to host it potluck style. So come, you bring your dish, you try everybody else's dishes, you rant and rave, and it's wonderful. So come join us. And then next week, we have a Baby Wearing 101 class on October 9th. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're going to learn how to use ring slings, woven wraps, and then we also have a buckle carrier. But what's exciting about this is that the buckle carrier will be part of our Library of Things, which you can check out for. We're still determining the length of time that you can check it out for, but you'll be able to check it out. You'll be able to use it, and without investing your own money and kind of trying a new baby carrier.
You'll have to supply your own baby.
Your own baby.
Aw, man.
But I can get you the carriers. No problem.
Okay. So we have a little competition we're going to do here because Sophia and I both brought beverages.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to do Rochambeau.
All right. You and me?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it best of one or best of three?
I think... Let's do a 3.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Ready?
People love listening to rock, paper, scissors.
Duh.
All right.
Hello, ready?
Okay.
1,
2, 3.
Oh,
tie.
tie.
Oh,
A tie again. Okay.
3 ties in a row.
Oh, God. Okay, we
The
should do best
listeners
of
love
one.
this. Best of one? Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ah!
Okay.
I lost.
Rock to scissors.
So.
So this week we'll be doing the one I brought, and next week we'll be doing the one Sophia brought.
Okay.
So I have a Peña Fiel Sabores Toronja soda, and it it's nothing wild. It's pretty straightforward, but I was attracted by the government mandated warnings on the back, as I think all sodas are required to carry as a product of Mexico. This is from Mexico, right?
Yep.
Excess calories, excess sugar, contains sweeteners not recommended for children. So it's got a couple stop sign shaped warnings on the back saying, "Why don't you drink some water, dude?" Basically.
That wouldn't be very fun.
It would not. This is one that, as I understand it, you're already familiar with.
Yeah,
Sophia.
I drank this when I was a kid, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Do you want to get the cups ready, and we'll
yeah.
we'll divvy this. I'll let you do the honors.
Oh, man, this is going to be great.
It's got mineral water. So that's healthy.
Well, that makes it good.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And she spilled it on the counter.
Oh, here we are.
Need to get some on the 3D printer there.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it smells good. You can smell it.
Yeah, it smells like grapefruit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
good.
got the squirty sense to it. It's got the little bit of Sprite feel to it though as well.
Oh, yes.
You can differentiate that from.
Oh, yeah. Childhood memories.
Yeah, that's just good.
Mm-hmm.
It is good.
Delicious.
A milder version of squirt.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah, it's not as acidic. It's probably the mineral water aspect. There's a little bit more of alkalinity in there. It makes it a little bit warmer, a little bit friendlier than your squirt or your grapefruit Shasta.
It only has 5 grams of sugar.
Oh.
5 grams of sugar, and the rest is sucralose there.
The pineapple version of this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good.
Oh, is that for the serving or is that for the whole bottle?
Ooh, how many servings are in the bottle?
6.
So it's just 2.
Amount per serving.
Yeah, but the serving is what?
3 ounces.
Yeah, so
So
still
5 grams per 3 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. I mean, compared to like, what are we talking with like other ones we've tried?
I mean, your
Fanta.
standard.
1,000,000 grams.
Yeah, I mean, your standard soda has got like 35 to 40 grams per can. Like I think like a 12-ounce even has.
Yeah,
So yeah, not too bad at all.
might be a better choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Government mandated warnings aside, I'm feeling healthy. I feel good and I feel healthy.
Good. Round of applause for Harrison for making a good choice. Okay, so
All right.
the topic of this, how do I say this? The
Theme?
theme. Thank you. Words are escaping me. The theme of this week's podcast is a continuation of the celebration of National Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we're talking about historic or current figures, Latino, Latina, Hispanic figures that we wanted to talk about and we wanted to highlight. So I chose historical women, and then we'll get into it. Be great.
All right.
Woohoo.
Who wants to
first?
lead off?
Not me.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
The character, well, a couple things. I also have a favorite book character that is Hispanic. It's from a Tom Clancy book. There's a couple books I really like by Tom Clancy that feature this character, and one of them is Rainbow Six, which happens to be my favorite Tom Clancy book. If you haven't read it, please do. It's even though it's a little out of date, it still is a good book. But the character appears in other books. Clear and Present Danger is another one he's in. And he also is in the movies. So it's Ding Chavez is the name of the character, and he is from Mexico. He also, the character served in the army and then was recruited out of there. And the scene of his recruitment in the movie and in the book is really funny. It's worth watching because it's worth seeing. So I like that. That's one character that when we started talking about what the theme was going to be, that was kind of one of the characters that popped up in my head is, I've always liked that character. Yeah. There's a couple books too that I've read to kids in the past. Sofia Valdez, Future Prez. I don't know if you guys have read that. There's a whole series by the lady it's a STEM series by the person who wrote those. And then the She Persisted books feature lots of different characters and diverse women. And they're also, I don't know if we have them in our library here, but a lot of school libraries have them. Yeah. But the person that I picked to talk about, I picked two, but the person I picked that I'll talk about first is Frida Kahlo. And Frida Kahlo was an artist. So she was born in 1907. Wait, I have to correct that. It might not be right. She's a Mexican painter known for many portraits and self-portraits and works that are inspired by nature and artifacts in Mexico. And I didn't repeat on you guys. You didn't pick. Okay, good. I was like, wait. And her art is very distinctive. It's if you were in a museum and you were at all familiar with her art, you could pick it out. I mean, just without having to read any signs. It's very, very distinctive. It's bright, and her paintings are a lot of self-portraits, a lot of bright, colorful motifs that are native in. They look simple, but they're very complex, and you have to really look at the painting to see what exactly it is, because you can look at it and say, oh, that's a bunch of flowers, but you need to look at the painting closely to see what she's trying to convey. She was had a bout with polio and struggled with her physical health for a long time, and then was in a bus accident and was very fragile medically. But she was also in constant and chronic pain due to those injuries. And that is reflected also in her art. There's several paintings that you can see the person in the painting. There are depictions of like knives and things that would indicate that the person in the painting, it's usually a self-portrait, is in pain. Mm-hmm. So her interest in politics and art led her to join the Mexican Communist Party in 1927, and through there she met a fellow Mexican artist, Diego Rivera. They married in 1929, and then they traveled together throughout Mexico and the United States. And during that time, she developed her artistic style, drawing her main inspiration from Mexican folk culture and painting mostly small self-portraits with mixed elements from pre-Columbian and Catholic beliefs. So you'll see lots of crosses and different kinds of things in her paintings. Her first solo exhibition was at the Julian Levy Gallery. I can't even say it. Julian Levy Gallery in New York in 1938, and the exhibition was a success. And then it was followed by another in Paris in 1939, which was also successful, but it was less so because the war was kind of looming, and so a lot of people didn't attend it. But the Louvre Museum in Paris purchased a painting called The Frame, which was made her the first Mexican artist to be featured in their collection.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
So throughout the 1940s, Kahlo participated in exhibitions in Mexico and the United States and worked as an art teacher. She was a founding member of something I'm going to try to pronounce, but I don't know I can, Seminario de Cultura Mexicana. Kahlo's always fragile health began to decline in the same decade, in the 40s, and while she had solo exhibitions elsewhere, she had her first solo exhibition in Mexico in 1953, shortly before her death in 1954 at the age of 47.
Wow, so young.
Her work has been celebrated internationally as emblematic of Mexican national and indigenous traditions, and by feminists for what is seen as its uncompromising depiction of the female experience and form.
Wow.
And it just, if you go on and just search her on Google, you'll see her paintings. They're very honest and very brash almost. She's unapologetic in the way she portrays herself. Mm-hmm. She doesn't try to make herself more beautiful. She doesn't try. The paintings are very stark depiction of herself, and they're very interesting. And art is supposed to make us think and feel, and her paintings do. And if they make you uncomfortable, it's probably because she designed it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, I learned a lot. So, do you want
me to do one?
Oh, sure.
All right. I've got a couple folks here. I'll start with George Melendez Wright. Mm-hmm. George Melendez Wright was born June 20th, 1904 in San Francisco. His mother, Mercedes Melendez Wright, came from a powerful Salvadoran family. Two of his uncles were presidents. His father, John Tennant Wright, was a successful San Francisco-based importer-exporter from a long lineage of respected local steamship captains. Both of George's parents died while he was young, and he was raised largely by his great-aunt Cordelia Ward Wright, who supported him in his curiosity about science and the natural world. Instead of following in either of his parents' footsteps, either of which could have given him a comfortable and or respectable position in life, he followed his own path. He began studying forestry and vertebrate zoology at UC Berkeley at the age of 16. He spent his summers exploring largely in the American West and Alaska. And in 1926, while accompanying one of his mentors, mammologist Joseph Dixon, Wright became the first person in the world to locate a surf bird nest. I don't know what a surf bird is. I don't know if that's the thing from the song. But yeah, so
maybe
I have to look up what a surf bird is. Surf and bird. Wright began working for the NPS, the National Park Service, in 1927 as assistant park naturalist at Yosemite. In 1929, he spearheaded a groundbreaking survey of wildlife in the park, the results of which were published in 1932 as Fauna of the National Parks of the United States, a preliminary survey of faunal relations in national parks. In 1933, Wright became the first chief of the National Park Service Wildlife Division. Some of his early work getting this up and going, I think for the first 2 years, he funded his position and his work himself. He spent about half of his sizable inheritance to get this work underway. His ideas for monitoring and managing natural resources are often taken for granted today, but they were revolutionary at the time. These include such wild ideas as scientific wildlife surveys and not feeding wild bears.
That's who we have to thank for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really a challenging idea at the time. On February 25th, 1936, Wright was traveling with Yellowstone Superintendent Roger Toll near Deming, New Mexico. The two were part of an international group, a commission looking into the development of wildlife refuges along the U.S.-Mexico border. They were struck by an oncoming vehicle. Toll was killed instantly at the age of 52.
Oh, no.
Wright died the following day. He was 31.
Oh.
His entire career was less than a decade
Wow.
in the National Park Service.
Wow, but what a difference. Wow.
Wright had been so central to the Wildlife Division's mission and operations that his death set the division back years, and his vision and model of natural resource management would not fully gain traction until the 1960s. Although science and policy evolve over time, the fundamental concepts Wright developed and implemented during his short life and career form the basis of many of the wildlife management concepts we see today and have helped preserve our wild spaces so that we can experience the same wonder he did. And I have a quote from him.
Yes.
Sometimes while I'm watching these birds on the water, the illusion of the untouchability of this wilderness becomes so strong that it is stronger than reality. And the polished roadway becomes the illusion, the mirage that has no substance.
Wow. Very profound.
So that's mine.
Woohoo!
Well,
I got another too.
I looked up surfbird.
Yeah?
It sort of looks like a seagull.
It does sort of
kinda
look like a
does.
seagull.
Except it's gray. It's got gray feathers and gray and white on its belly, and it's not as big, I don't think. But that is truly a surf bird.
It's the word.
Bird, bird, bird.
I wanted to jump on like some of your fictional characters. I have not read Rainbow Six, but when I was a youth, I did play the first Rainbow Six game, the computer game. And you could pick your characters because they had different stats. All the people in the team had different abilities. And Ding was sort of like the number one guy. He had the best. He was massively overpowered. He was like the best guy who you would pick to be yourself, and then you pick the other squad mates, or at least I did. And so there was a whole system of, if somebody got injured or incapacitated or killed, they would fall off the roster and for the rest of the game. And that was the thing, is like if Ding got injured or killed, it's time to restart, because Ding Chavez is like, he's the only one who could really shoot straight out of it.
There you go.
It's instrumental.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So the first person I chose is Sonia Sotomayor, who is a justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, a currently serving justice of the Supreme Court. And she's the first Hispanic justice and the third woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court. She was also the first Latina on a federal court in New York and the first Puerto Rican woman to serve as a judge in the federal judiciary. So she's amazing. She was born in the Bronx on June 25th, 1954. She grew up in public housing in the Bronx. Her father died when she was 9, and her mom raised her and her brother alone, and she worked as a nurse long nights, and so I think that really left her alone a lot. And when she was a child, she decided that she wanted to be a judge. So through hard work and determination, she graduated summa cum laude from Princeton in 1976 with a bachelor's degree in history, and she graduated from Yale Law School in 1979. And after law school, she got hired on as an assistant district attorney in the New York County District Attorney's Office from 1979 to 1984. She started doing that when she was 25. 25. Wow. Amazing. And so she worked there from 1979 to 1984. And from 1984 to 1992, she litigated international commercial matters at a private law firm because she wanted to be a more wholesome, like well-rounded attorney before being nominated by President George H.W. Bush to the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York in 1991. So she served on the district court from 1992 to 1998. And then in 1997, she was nominated to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, which covers Connecticut, New York, and Vermont by President Clinton. And so she served on the Court of Appeals until from 1998 to 2009, when she was nominated by President Barack Obama to the Supreme Court, and she assumed her current role in August of 2009. So, one thing I wanted to highlight, a notable ruling I wanted to highlight from when she was on the district court, or was it the district court? 1995. She was, on the district court. So she, on March 30th, 1995, in Silverman versus the Major League Baseball Player Relations Committee, she issued a preliminary injunction against Major League Baseball, preventing it from unilaterally implementing a new collective bargaining agreement and using replacement players. So her ruling ended the 1994 baseball strike after 232 days, the day before the new season was scheduled to begin. And the Second Circuit upheld her decision and denied the owner's request to stay the ruling. So she was largely credited with saving baseball as we know it currently.
Wow. I wasn't familiar with that one.
Yeah.
It always blows my mind, like when somebody has a life trajectory that like is starts so young of like, I don't know any kids who are like, I want to be a judge when I grow up. Like but it's amazing just that not only has there been a child who's like, I want to be a judge when I grow up, but then just to follow through to that extent, it always makes me feel like, what am I even doing? I feel like I'm just figuring out what I want to do with my life.
What do I want to be when I grow up? And she was valedictorian of her high school, and she received the highest academic honor you can get at Princeton, and just like excellence throughout her professional and academic careers. And I'm just like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So she's amazing. Very inspiring.
So back to sorry.
Do you want me to do mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So I chose one that I didn't think I would choose until I kind of Googled, because I don't think in terms of like when I listen to music or when it isn't necessarily that I'm like registering that this person is of Hispanic origins, or I just don't think I think that way. I just think, I like that music. So the guy that I picked, and I just realized I was going to play a little bit of a song, but I don't think I can.
I don't think we can.
Oh, no. Darn.
What era are we looking at?
1970.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to highly encourage you to Google this song because you'll recognize it right away. It's used a lot and you'll know what it is. But anyway, the person I picked was Carlos Santana.
Ooh, yes.
Carlos Santana is an American guitarist best known as a founding member of the rock band Santana. Born and raised in Mexico, where he developed his musical background, he rose to fame in the late 1960s and early 70s in the United States with Santana, which pioneered a fusion of rock and roll and Latin American jazz. Its sound featured his melodic blues-based lines set against Latin America and African rhythms, played on percussion instruments not generally heard in rock, such as timbales and congas. He experienced a resurgence of popularity and critical acclaim in the late 1990s.
With the Matchbox 20 guy.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah. Rob Thomas.
In 2015, Rolling Stone magazine listed Santana at number 20 on their list of the 100 greatest guitarists. In 2023, Rolling Stone named him the 11th greatest guitarist of all time. He has won 10 Grammy Awards and 3 Latin Grammy Awards and was inducted along with his namesake band into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998.
Wow.
And the song is called Smooth. If you started out, you'll know it's so familiar, but you might not know the name.
Going to be stuck in my head all day now.
That was like, I think it was every other song on every radio station
In the
year that it
90s.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have, there's a lot of other stuff. It earned him a place. He just has an amazing guitar skills, but he's just really good at that fusion of genres. I think that it's easy, to like all of the music, because if you like jazz, you'll like it. If you like Latin pop, you'll like it. If you like, salsa, you'll like it. I mean, it's all that kind of, there's a real fusion to it. And he had a 5 decades of music, and he's still, I think, probably making music in some way or another, even though he has, he's getting up there in years.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the fact that when I think of what's like the Santana song, I think Oye Como Va.
I was literally just listening to that in my head.
But then when you said Smooth, the one he did from that album that he did collaborations with people, I was thinking, oh yeah, that's like one of the newer Santana songs. And then I realized that came out like 30 years ago. Oye Como Va came out in 1970.
Yeah, back in the resurgence time in the 90s, that's the music I think I listened to more.
I think my favorite part of Oye Como Va is the organ. Yeah, there's the huh, and then there's the organ part that just goes eh, 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 eh.
Oh,
Love to play that. Got to make space for Carlos to do his thing.
That's right.
Can't be showing off that.
that's amazing.
Okay, are we ping-ponging back to me? And then
Yeah. Then we'll.
goes out. All right. My other person is Dr. Ellen Ochoa. Ellen Ochoa was born May 10th, 1958 in Los Angeles to Joseph and Roseanne Ochoa. She grew up in La Mesa, California, the middle child of 5. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Physics from San Diego State in 1980, graduating Phi Beta Kappa. She earned her MS and her PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford in 1981 and 1985, respectively. She began working as a doctoral student at NASA. There's a line in Wikipedia. I left room for myself to digress on this because there's some wording on the Wikipedia article, and I don't know if it's original to the Wikipedia article or if they're pulling it from the other source. I couldn't find it in the reference. But the term they used was that she was, quote, enticed by optical systems. Enticed. Not interested, not focused on, but enticed by. And I had to think about that for a second because I really like that wording because I feel like it might be accurate and it really describes a lot of people I've known who are working in science or engineering in some capacity that like really are just like drawn to the stuff that they do. So yeah, she's got 3 patents on optical systems that she got during this time. But I got hung up on that enticed by, because if you've ever worked in or around science, you have met a person who's enticed by what they do. There's someone I used to work with. I won't name because I didn't talk to him before, but he'll recognize himself if he hears this. If an animal died anywhere where he could get at it, he would get at it. Because he had to get the teeth and the skin and the bones and the hair, because there's just so much you can learn about it. And he, would end up in his office just like, and he was just genuinely excited about, look at the wear on the teeth and you can tell where it lived and what it ate and all of this stuff. And it is just like when someone's, again, like the child's love of learning and discovering matures with someone and they don't lose it, and it just drives people forward. And so I that's a lot to read into that word, but I'm like, I think I know this kind of person. This is awesome. So yeah, she knows her stuff. I gather she's probably the kind of person who could pick up the optical mouse from your desk and talk to you about it for an hour and get you really excited about the mouse on your desk, right? I've known people like that. She was selected as part of the 1990 class of astronauts, becoming the first Latina woman in space in 1993 aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery on a mission to study the ozone layer. She's also an accomplished classical flute player, and she took a flute with her on her first trip to space.
Cool.
Wow.
I need to look and see if there are recordings of her playing a flute in space.
In space.
She has logged over 1,000 hours in space over 4 space flights. And she became the director of the Johnson Space Center in 2013. In 2024, she joined the board of NVIDIA, the folks who make the graphics card in your gaming PC. So, yeah, just really, really fascinating, brilliant person. I want to see her playing the flute. In my mind, I'm picturing like Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull standing on one leg. I'm picturing her like floating around on one.
That's what she'd be doing.
Aqualung. Yeah.
It must be so interesting. I mean, think about going to a party and you talk to somebody and saying, "Oh, so tell me about yourself." "Well, I went to space. I've been in space for 1,000 hours." I mean, that must just be such a surreal thing to think about yourself. I've been to space, and there's a handful of people. It's not a big group of people you can talk about space with that like have actually experienced it. And it just, that's really, I mean, that's something. That's something.
Yeah. And just, and it's such an interesting, like, the path to space seems like it's so varied. Like you get people who come from like science and engineering like she did. You get people like, especially like in the early days of like military aviation folks who like have done all that training. Just such a...
Well, and it's like engineers. You need engineers. You don't just need scientists. You need the guys to build the stuff and then to maintain the stuff and fix the stuff. And I mean, there's just such a wide variety. It's like I think every job is kind of like that. Everybody comes from a different path. I mean, we've talked about that, about our, not on this podcast, but just how we all kind of came to the library and doing our jobs from very different paths.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it in a lot of ways. A lot of jobs that people think, okay, so, I trained as a teacher, I taught for 10 years, now I don't want to teach anymore. But there's so much out there that those skills that you learned, you can bring to another job. I think that's, a lot of people do that. A lot of people have second careers and go on to do great things, but because they have the experience from that first career. Anyway, that's totally off the subject.
Not really. And then you've got Jack Schmidt, the first man to fall down on the moon a bunch and say "Dadgummit." One of a very few notable Harrisons in history, one being that actor and the other being Jack Schmidt, who actually did not go by his first name. Dadgummit.
Yeah, that's a story for a cocktail party. Well, I was walking. Boom, I'm down. I don't know. Oh, dear. All right.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, that's a story. That's Harrison History Month is in a few months. That's not what we're talking about today.
We'll pin it for another day. Okay. The second person I wanted to talk about is actually a librarian, as Pura Belpre. She was the first Puerto Rican librarian at the New York Public Library. She was born in Puerto Rico in 1903. She graduated from Central High School in Santurce in 1919, and then she went on to enroll in a teaching program at the University of Puerto Rico. So in 1920, she traveled to New York City for her sister's wedding, but on a life-altering trajectory, she decided to stay in the area, and she later started working at New York Public Library's 135th Street branch in Harlem. So while she was working at the library, she saw a disconnect between the local culture and the books that were being offered on the shelves at the library. So she saw an opportunity to bring folk tales from her childhood to the children of New York, especially as a way to connect first and second generation Americans back to their roots. In 1925, she enrolled in a storytelling class at New York Public Library School, where she wrote her first folk fairy tale in English, which was a tragic romance about a mouse named Perez and a cockroach named Martina. I have never heard this story, but I should check it out.
I've seen a mouse interact with a cockroach, and it was not romantic.
Tragic romance.
It was tragic for the cockroach, anyway.
So she initially faced some hurdles telling the story in the library, as stories for storytime at that time were only permitted to be books that had been published. So she later went on to publish this book in 1932, and after the success of Perez and Martina, she was permitted to tell oral traditions of Puerto Rican folklore. So she worked at New York Public Library until 1943, when she stepped away to travel with her husband, who was a musician. But during that time, she wrote more children's stories for and about Puerto Rican children. So in 1960, after her husband died, she returned to the New York Public Library as a Spanish children's specialist. So in this position, she traveled to branches across the city, bringing stories and programs to neighborhoods where large Latino populations lived. And she retired from the library in 1968, but her advocacy did not stop there. She joined the South Branch Library Project, where she advocated for library use at 9 branches of the New York Public Library in predominantly Puerto Rican neighborhoods. And what I thought you might find interesting, Cindy, is that she had a mobile puppet theater.
Ooh.
With a lightweight collapsible stage that could be transported around the city, and she used the puppets to bring Puerto Rican folktales to life. So they're very vibrant. If you look at pictures, they're very vibrant. Mm-hmm. So she passed in 1982, the day after she was honored for her decades of service to the library.
Wow.
Yeah. And then in 1996, the American Library Association created the Pura Belpre Award, and this honor is given to Latino or Latina writers and illustrators whose children's books best portray and celebrate the Latino cultural experience, in recognition of her mission and life's work as both a librarian and an author.
Very cool.
She's amazing.
And there is a book
Awesome.
about her, right?
I'm pretty.
There's a children's book.
Yeah, and plus the books that she wrote herself.
Right. I read that story, the children's book that they wrote about her. I read that one during Hispanic Heritage Month.
Wow.
Yeah.
So very inspiring.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Cool. I know her name and like some of the things she did. I didn't know about the mobile puppet theater and all of that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Just goes to show you that puppets are very useful.
Yes.
And telling stories and
bringing things to life.
And, culture and
Right.
amazing.
That's why we love the Muppets.
Oh, I learned a lot today.
Me too.
This is great.
Thank you, everybody. Next week is Banned Book Week.
Yep.
Coming up.
Yeah, so you might be surprised at how many banned books you've read and didn't know you read them. But we do have to clarify about the difference between banned and challenged, because there is a difference. So that's a teaser for next time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Leave us on the edge of our seats.
We will talk to you all next week.
All right.
Goodbye.
Don't feed the bears. The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Cindy Bilek, Sophia Kahn, and Harrison Baker. Original music by Harrison Baker. Editing by Harrison Baker and Sophia Kahn. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organization they represent. Good night.